Hi guys, so welcome back. So previously we were looking at this question, BMAT 2016 question 20, where we were asked to rearrange the equation for parameter x in a three-way term equation. But hopefully guys that has made sense. And now guys we move on to BMAT 2015. This is given that a is 3 over 5 plus x, b is 3 plus x over 5, and c is 3 plus x over 5 plus x, where x is a whole number greater than 0. Which of the following is true? So guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute, be sure to be back after the minute, and then we'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So let's go through this. So this is a common thing. So these kind of questions, it says you have you essentially have a scenario over here, and it's saying which of the following will be true. What normally you could do with these kind of questions, guys, is just literally pick a value and see if it works for that value. And just to be extra sure, because in this question we have option G, the order of fraction depends on the value of x. Just to be extra sure, I would choose, let's just say, for example, first we start off, let's say x equals 5. If we start with x equals 5, then a is 3 over 5 plus 5, which is 10, which is 0.3. B would be 8 over 5, which is the same as 16 over 10, which is 1.6. And C would be if x is 5, it will be 8 over 10, which is 0.8. So clearly from here, guys, you can see then that B is greater than C, which is greater than A, right? So that gears us towards D being the correct answer, isn't it? But to be honest, in that scenario over here we just painted, because we have option G, we don't really know. It could actually depend on the value of x, but it says x is a whole number greater than 0. So what I'll suggest for you to do now, just pick another number which is quite some bit away from x equals 5. So let's just say x equals 95. So when x equals 95, then what happens is a equals 3 over 5 plus 95, which is 3 over 100, which is basically 3%, which is 0.03. Right? And then you got b equals 95. It's going to be 98 divided by 5. So you got, I'm just going to have to write this down. So 98 divided by 5, 180, 196 divided by 10, which is going to be 19.6, isn't it? So that's going to be 19.6. And C, if x is 95, is going to be 98 over 100, which is 0.98. So from here, guys, we can therefore see that B is greater than C, which is greater than A. And really, guys, since you show this for two values, x equals 5, x equals 5 and 95 are quite a bit away, isn't it? So the likelihood is here that D, therefore, would be the correct answer. And also, guys, you see how I picked 5 and 95? The reason I picked 5 and 95 is because in all the denominators is 5 plus something, or for B is just 5. But I picked 5 and 95, so it gives me nice numbers to deal with. So divide by 100 and divide by 10 for 95 and 5 respectively. But hopefully, guys, that makes sense. And hopefully this technique is a running theme, guys. And hopefully you can pick it up at this point. But guys, we really look forward to seeing you in the next question. All right, guys. So previously we were looking at BMAT 2015 question 12 to do this essentially proof type of question, which is really common. Remember these proof type of question, guys. Really just pick a value, plug that value in. If it works for that value, the likelihood is that it's going to follow for all other values. But hopefully that has made sense, guys. Now we move on to the next one, question 24. So it says simplify that bit of algebra. So guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute. Be sure to be back after that minute, and then we'll be going over the solution. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So looking at this equation, guys. Um, so the first obvious thing. So this is a three-way equation. So generally, if three-way equation is normally good to make it two-way equation, and then it's much easier to deal with. So I'm going to bracket this part off. I'm going to deal with this part first. So we look at the denominators, guys, and the denominators there's not really anything common between them. And remember, when there's not anything common between them, use the crisscross method. So you do this times this, which is going to be 2x plus 3 squared, and then you look at the sign in the middle, that's plus, and it'll be this times this, which is going to be 2x minus 3 all squared, and then you do this over whatever's in the denominators times together, so it's going to be 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3, and then if you do a bit of algebra, they're going to get 4x squared plus 6x, so 4x squared plus 6x plus another 6x actually, and then you're going to get plus 9, and then you get plus, for that one over there, you're going to get 4x squared again, so 4x squared, but this time you're going to get minus 6x and another minus 6x, so basically a minus 12x plus 9 all over, so all of this over 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3. And then when clearing this up, guys, 4x plus 4x is 4x squared plus 4x squared is going to be 8x squared, right? And then the plus 6x plus 6x, that's just 12x minus the other 12x. So these are just fully going to go away, isn't it? Yeah. And then you have the plus 9, and the plus 9 is going to be plus 18, right? And all of this is going to be divided by 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. And that's really just the difference between two squares, isn't it? So it's going to be basically 4x squared minus 9. But then you have this guy now. So this is basically just this. But you have that minus 2. But so that basically means, guys, you have to, with the minus 2, what I'm going to do with that, so here we have is 8x squared plus 18 over 4x squared minus 9. But that minus 2, I'm going to write as minus 2 4x squared minus 9 over 4x squared minus 9. So the reason I put it in that form, obviously the 4x squared will drive out 4x squared, with the 2 just going to cancel out, so you're just going to be left with 2. But the reason I've done that is because now you have a common denominator and you can really merge these two things together. So now you're going to get 8x squared plus 18 minus 2 lots of 4x squared minus 9 all over 4x squared minus 9. Then you're going to get 8x squared plus 18 minus 8x squared. But then obviously minus 2 times minus 9 is going to be plus 18 over 4x squared minus 9. And then whoops, that and that cancels. And then you've got 36 over, and then you can just write that as the difference between two squares. So basically you're just reversing. That's going to be 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. So a bit of working out, guys, but hopefully you can appreciate then that the correct answer in this case would be D. So these kind of questions, guys, I've done that quite fast. Sometimes I skipped a few steps. So if anything doesn't make sense, guys, just be sure to comment down below. We can go through that. But with these things, guys, the more of these you practice, and even if you're doing A-level maths, great, you probably can do it straight away. But if you don't have maths background at A-level, just doing more questions like these is really going to improve your pace. And this is question 24, so it's a question which is towards the end. Remember, BMAT section 2 normally has 27 questions, so you can expect this to be a bit hard. But either way, guys, hopefully that has made sense, and really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So previously we looked at BMAT 2015, question 24, bit of a long-winded question, especially if you don't do A-level maths, but hopefully, guys, my explanation has made sense and you'll be able to answer much similar questions. Now, guys, we move on to BMAT 2014, question 4. So it says simplify, and then we have that fraction. So, guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute, be sure to be back after that minute where we'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So I hope you had some time to attempt that. So when you're dealing with these kind of questions, guys, what you have to do is just look at all the numerators and denominators, see if you can factorize or do anything to them. So x squared minus 4x, the clearest thing you can do with that is factorize that, because there's a common factor of an x, and then bracket x minus 4. And at the bottom, you have a really special thing. We have what we call the difference between two squares, because x squared and 16 are both squares numbers. And it's the difference because there's a minus in there, isn't it? So then difference between two squares, x squared minus 16 you can write as x plus 4, x minus 4. And obviously the x minus 4s cancel out, so you're just left with x over x plus 4, and therefore that should give you B as the correct answer. So hopefully, guys, that was much simpler than the previous question, and hopefully you managed to bag those points. But if not, guys, don't worry, it's still early stages, and hopefully my explanation has made sense. But really look forward, guys, to seeing you in the next video. Alright, guys, so previously we were looking at BMAT 2014, question 4. Sorry, guys, if the doodles are missing in this one, because something happened which meant that all the doodles have gone away. But hopefully, guys, you can refer back to the previous video if you're looking for the doodles for this question. But hopefully, guys, you can appreciate that this question wasn't too bad in terms of the algebra. We faced much more difficult ones, and it was really just a form of revision. So, but now, guys, we're going to move on to BMAT 2013, question 8. So it says simplify 4 minus and then that nasty bit of algebra. So guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute. Be sure to be back after that minute where we'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So let's deal with this. So the 4 is fine. Obviously, we can't do anything with that. But that nasty little algebra, we can definitely do stuff with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is the x squared here, I can just cancel out with that x cubed, but then x cubed will just become x. So then what I'm left with here is going to be 1 minus 16x squared over 2x bracket 4x minus 1. Right, and then dealing with that, so the 1 minus 16x squared, obviously two square numbers and it's minus, so it's the difference between us, the difference between two squares. And dealing with that, you're going to get 1 plus 4x, 1 minus 4x, and then obviously that's going to be over 2x, 4x minus 1. And then the next thing I'm going to do is quite cheeky, is the 1 minus 4x. I'm going to stick a minus out from that, so I'll just bring that minus out all the way to the front. the 1 plus 4x is going to change. But since I stick a minus outside the 1 minus 4x, after times the inside of the bracket by minus 1 basically. So I'm going to get 4x minus 1 there, and then over 2x, 4x minus 1, and then the 4x minus 1s cancel out, right? And then, yeah, so we're left with that. So now we're left with, guys, is 4 minus 1 plus 4x over 2x. And obviously the minus and the minus now just becomes a plus, isn't it? So you get 4 plus 1 plus 4x over 2x. Now just dealing with that, you're going to get 4 plus 1 over 2x, right? And then the 4x over 2x is going to give you 2. So you're going to get plus 2. And then dealing with this more, you're going to get 6 plus 1 over 2x. And then that obviously nicely maps on to option letter F. So hopefully, guys, so I think the real main trick over here is getting to this point. And once you're down to this point, is more straightforward. But hopefully, guys, that has made sense. My explanation has made sense. And we really look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, guys, so welcome back. So previously looking at BMAT 2013 question 8, this was a tough cookie, as I must admit. But hopefully, guys, with the techniques that I showed you, it was pretty straightforward. Now, guys, we're going to move on to the next one, which is BMAT 2013 question 12. So it says the square ABCD's vertices are at positions at points, with coordinates the following. And it says the square is rotated clockwise through 90 degrees by the origin and then reflecting the line y equals x. It says which transformation will return the square to its original orientation. So, guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute. Be sure to be back after that minute where we're going to really go over the solution. Okay, guys, so welcome back. So the first thing before you even start, guys, just to draw this out, just map this out graphically, isn't it? So if you map this out graphically, it's going to be something like this. So A, B, C, D. So A is 1, 1. So it goes in this corner. So A is this, B is that, and then C is that, and then D is this. So A is 1, 1. And then at minus 1, 1 should be B, and then you follow it around. So minus 1 would be C, and then D. And essentially what you're doing here is that you're rotating clockwise 90. So if you rotate clockwise 90, what you're going to get is something like B, A would come there, and then D would go here, and then C will go here. Yeah, so did I get this right? So that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, that goes, yeah, that's right. And then after that, guys, what we do is we reflect in the line y equals x. So this is the line y equals x. But basically, guys, hopefully you can appreciate that that D and B would remain are on the line y equals x, and therefore they won't change position. The only things that would change position, and essentially what would happen, is that A and C would swap. So when A and C swap, you're going to get A here, C here, B here, and then D here, right? So it's saying now, how can I go from here to the beginning, which is basically the question. So what's happened is that, yeah, so basically what's happened is A and B are swapped and C and D are swapped. So basically the easiest thing you do is just reflect in the line x equals 0, or essentially the y-axis, isn't it? So hopefully, guys, you can understand then that in this question, B is the winner. B is the correct answer. So hopefully, guys, that has made sense. And yes, as always, we really look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, guys, so welcome back. So previously looking at BMAT 2013 question 12, doing this question which involved a bit of rotation and moving things around. But hopefully, guys, at this point, this has now made a lot of sense. Now, guys, we're going to move on to this one, BMAT 2013 again, question 16. So it says three variables x, y, and z are known to be related to each other in the following ways. X is directly proportional to square of z, and y is inversely proportional to the cube of z. Which of the following correctly describes the relationship between x and y? So, guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute. Be sure to be back after that minute. We'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, so this is a question of proportionality. So we know here that x is directly proportional to the square of z. So that basically, and this essentially translates to, in terms of an equation, x equals a constant of proportionality z squared, right? And if we do a similar thing for the bottom one, so we know y is in some way proportional to the cube of z, but then that basically means y equals, but since it's inversely, it's going to be k over z cubed, such that when z goes up, y goes down. Whereas here, when z goes up, x goes down. That's directly proportional. Whereas when z goes up, y goes down. That's inversely proportional, right? And then we need to essentially bring x and y together, but we have a third variable. So what we can do here, guys, is I'm going to take this equation here. I'm going to say x over k equals z squared. right? And then I'm going to turn this into z to the power of 6. And why I've done this will make sense in a little while. But z to the power of 6 would just be this cube, so x over k cubed, which is basically just x cubed over k cubed, right? And then in this equation now, z cubed would just be the same as k over y. Therefore, z to the 6 will just be that squared, so it'll be k squared over y squared, right? And now, since we have z to the 6 for both of them, we can just equate them to each other, isn't it, guys? So you get x cubed over k cubed equals k squared over y squared, right? And then we can just bring the k cubed to the other side. So we're going to get x cubed equals k to the 5 essentially, but k to the 5 is just a constant to the power of 5, which is just another constant. So I can even call that constant a over y squared. So now we're saying a relationship between, and then since all of the options is something to do, actually we can stick with that for now, but we can say for now, that's fine. But then now clearly what we can see, guys, is that the cube of x is inversely proportional to the square of y, because x cubed equals constant over y squared. So hopefully, guys, you can imagine then that the correct answer in this case would be D. I hope you can see that. So the cube of x is inversely proportional to the square of y, which is basically what is shown here. So it did involve a bit of processing, guys, but I hope if any question like this comes your way in your actual exam, you'll be at ease to answer that. But hopefully that has made sense, guys, and really look forward to seeing you in the next video.